I think about my own experience as a young boy. I spent the first 10 years of my life in a series of foster homes and orphanage and so on.
Yeah.
And my father was a man who just walked away. Spent some time in jail. I mean, he was a very abusive man. He left my mother with 3 boys under the age of 4 and just disappeared. Long story. I mean,
just the way you planned it, the trajectory you wanted, because you are a freedom seeker to the core of your being. You didn't want anybody bossing you around.
Yeah, I've often said that when a little kid says, "You're not the boss of me," my kids, I've heard them say it many, many times. "You're not the boss of me." I always say that's not a bratty little kid. That's someone saying, you know, I'm
autonomous. Yeah. I've come with great reason. I have guidance from Source. Yeah. I'll tune into who I am.
So I never met my father. And I grew up with rage in my heart towards this man who could walk away and just never look back and never pay any support and never even ask a question about his 3 boys or anything. I was the youngest, and
he did his part. He gave you an avenue into physical. Most parents mess it up far further than that.
Did I choose him to be my father?
Deliberately.
Because if you were to ask me, or if I were to tell you, the most significant moment in my life was in 1974 when I was 34 years old, and I was at his grave in Biloxi, Mississippi, and before that I was drinking and I was overweight and my life was out of control. I was writing. I'd written some textbooks, but the kind of writing I really wanted to do, I just couldn't get it. It just wouldn't come. I was not taking good care of myself. Pardon?
You were too mad.
Yeah, I was filled with rage. I mean, I would wake up in dreams and I'd just be screaming and I'd be fighting him and I'd be sweating. And this was almost a nightly occurrence. Yeah. I went to his grave, and I really went there to do something on his grave. That wasn't a kindly thing. But for the 2 hours or so that I was there, it was the 30th of August, 1974. I went back to the car to drive back to New Orleans, to drive back to New York. I was teaching. I was a professor at St. John's University in New York. And something called me back. Now, I don't know what it was, but it was
How far down the road were you when you left?
How far down?
After you left?
After I left his grave?
Yeah.
I didn't even I only got to the car. I was in the car, and something said, "Go back to the grave." And I went back to his grave, and I was sobbing. And I forgave my father. I said, "From this moment on, I send you what's on my shirt here. I send you love. I send, and I did a film about him, called him my greatest teacher. Everything in my life changed and turned around. My writing took off. I wrote a book that became like international bestseller world. All of the stuff that came, it came when I got that rage and anger.
What do you think happened? What do you think happened? Because he was always there with you. He was always loving you. He was always proud of you. He was always appreciating you.
Really?
He was always, because he's source energy. So that's how he was feeling.
Even while he was here on this planet?
No, he was all pinched off then.
Yeah, he was in jail.
But once he reemerged into non-physical, he was in that place of pure positive energy, and his influence is strong. So, and your desire to understand all of this, your desire to teach this, your desire to let go of the resistance that's holding you back. In other words, when you forgive someone, what you do is you let go of the resistance that's keeping you from your alignment. And it really doesn't have anything to do with the subject of resistance. Feels like it, because that's what you're focused upon, you see. But what we are asking you is, what do you think happened? What do you think happened? You went there with strong desire. You went there with desire. Could you articulate that?
Yes. Well, I can articulate to the point of saying I went there. I wanted to find out. I wanted to see his death certificate. I wanted to know if he even acknowledged that he had a son named Wayne. I just wanted to know.
So your bitterness was still really, really strong.
But there was something that was driving me. My other 2 brothers, they couldn't care less about it at all. They just, and my mother would never talk to me about it. She just said he was an asshole. That was her.
What drives you?
My mother never used language like that except that one time.
What drives you is the trajectory of well-being. What drives you was the understanding that you didn't come to be a dependent on someone else. You didn't come to use someone else as your object of attention, to use as your excuse for not coming into alignment. And so something happened in that moment that caused you to let go of that. Maybe it just got old. Maybe it just felt futile. Maybe you felt the ridiculousness of it. Maybe it had just gone on too long. Or maybe there was a reset button. Maybe you had found a desire that was stronger than your old beliefs. And for just a moment, the desire took precedence. You see what we're getting at? The desire that's coming forth from within. We've written a handful of books, and in all of the books have been processes. And every process is written to help someone find a way to release resistance. And some of them, we sort of encourage you to hit it head on, but those processes don't work very well for people, because usually when you've got a habit of thought, you've got a habit of thought. So something happened to you that caused you to cease the momentum that you had going for so long and feel for a moment the fullness. And so what we want to say to you, you felt, was the powerful God force love that was pouring through your father, your non-physical father, focused upon you, wanting you to feel it. And so the best way for us to say it is that his love was stronger than your hate. And he caught you at a weak moment, and you felt it. And that's what we're talking about all day. In other words, people will talk about healing. They want to know, they want to find someone that can help them. And we say, source energy is flooding this energy towards you at all times. You don't need some advocate to do what source is already doing. But if someone can help you soften your resistance so that you can somehow be receptive to that love and that well-being that's being flowed, all you have to do is get a little of it. And as you say, it's life-changing. Your life turned on a dime because you returned to the path of least resistance, to the lover that you are. And you left, not completely, but you took big steps in leaving that hate behind.
Is there only love on the other side?
Yes.
There's only love.
Yes.
So
only love. Only love. Only pure positive energy, love and clarity and passion and eagerness. Yeah.